shoulder pads.
I can't. I'm over here surfing in the corner. I'm going down. Oh, I guess I'm not.
Welcome back to the 5th Annual Dynaman Convention. I'm Tom Quinley, your host. Later on this evening, we're expecting a visit from Whooshy. That's Dyna Red, of course, and he's on his way here in the Dyna ship, even as we speak. We're also expecting a visit from Dyna Beige, a former member of the Dyna Kids. And of course, we're going to be opening the Dynaman Vault. Closed 5 years ago after the last Dynaman cast party. So let's go and take a look at the action down on the convention floor. Looks like quite a turnout. Well, right now we're going to take a look at a visit we paid last week to Miss Jane Doodleson, Chief Records Officer and Head Curator here at the Dynaman Foundation. Let's take a look at that tape.
Hello?
Hello, come in. I was just adjusting my slip.
Jane, thank you for having us.
Oh, well, it's nice being had, Tom.
Jane, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do here at the Dynaman Foundation?
Well, we are responsible for the preservation of Dynaman so that future generations can enjoy the show. Of course, we also supervise the licensing and distribution of all Dynaman products. Those are Dynaman hats, Dynaman bras, and of course the full line of Dynaman contraceptives.
Oh, that's great. Jane, why don't you tell us about the room we're in right now?
Oh, well, Tom, this is my office, and it's also the videotape archives for the museum. And over here we have all the tapes relating to the... Whoopsie! All the tapes relating to the Spunky episode. And here we have the drafts and rewrites by writers such as David Mamet and Sam Shepard.
But these men didn't write for the show.
Well, Tom, yes, they did. Of course, they didn't use their real names, but that's common knowledge.
Wow.
Here we have auditions of actors who tried out for the show. There's Eddie Murphy, but he wasn't urban enough, and Clint Eastwood and Bob
Oh,
Newford,
well, thank you, Jane.
Ernest
Now,
Cole,
Jane, what is this shelf behind us here?
Oh, well, that, Tom, is the information on the lawsuits against the company. We have here personal injury and copyright infringement, you know, toys, that kind of thing.
Well, Jane, now, were there a lot of injuries associated with the show?
Oh, not much, Tom, and not very serious. Just a broken wrist and a severed spinal column and burns, lots of burns. But, you know, when you get successful, everyone wants to capitalize.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
Now, what about these items behind me on the wall?
Oh, well, Tom, I like to keep a couple items from the museum here to kind of cheer things up. Those are Dyna Pink's shorts, for example, and Dyna Blue's briefs. Don't touch, they're alarmed. And over here, Tom, we have the Flipper episodes. What are you doing here?
I'm doing my doctoral thesis on Dynaman.
Do you have a pass?
Well, I did. Let me find it. I'm going to have
You're
you in
a spy from one of those Hong Kong rip-off outfits, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm really doing it.
Don't lie to me,
No.
fella.
Stop!
You know, you can't be too careful. I found 3 of these guys here last week alone.
My God, you just shot that man.
Yes, I did, with one of Dyna Yellow's personal firearms.
A personal firearm? Wow, that's terrific. Can we go in close on that?
And over here, Tom, we have the...
That's all right. Jane, tell me, what are these empty shelves on my right here?
Oh, well, those are for the lost episodes, Tom.
The lost episodes?
Yes, well, actually, the most famous episodes of Dynaman have never been seen by the public. There was the Scorsese episode, for example.
Martin Scorsese?
Yes, that's right. And the Spielberg episode, which cost $40 million. And the Hitchcock episode, which, of course, had all the violence implied.
All these directors directed Dynaman.
Yes, they did, and they did it for scale, too, Tom. Except Coppola, and his took 4 years to complete, and then there was a tragic John Landis episode.
How were these episodes lost?
Well, Tom, I think I left them on the bus.
Jane, didn't you get in trouble for that?
No, I blamed it on someone else. Over here, we have the foreign language translations. We have English, of course, and then all the major dialects. We have Cockney, High British, Welsh, Australian, South African, Scottish. That one was very funny, and so on.
Well, that must have been a lot of work.
Well, it was a very international show, Tom, and I think it touched everyone.
Well, I feel very touched just being here.
I know what you mean.
Well, thank you, Jane. It's been most informative.
It's my pleasure, Tom.
Well, we're back live at the Dynaman Convention. And we are now going to take a look at some of the baddies of Dynaman. And of course, I mean Bernie Tanaka, Mel Fujitsu, Lucy, Nigel, and those crazy lizards that are always keeping the Dyna kids on their toes. So let's look at some classic cuts of evil scheming.
Meet the face of terror.
I go away for 1 week, I come back, the place is filled with dancing lizards. This is a place of evil, now, a rehearsal hall. Nigel, Mel, did I say you could make a movie? You lizards, stop dancing!
But, Bernie, we wanted to surprise you.
Some surprise, signing a film contract without consulting me.
Mel told me to. What?
But remaking a film classic with 5,000 reptiles, The Lizard of Oz?
It's Nigel's fault. I swear. He told me he could get Robin Williams to play all the lizards.
Oh, what a talent.
Yeah, but he backed out after we gave him cash up front. Now we have no money and only a couple of dozen of lizards in rehearsal. For a while, I thought we were wiped out.
But yes, you have a plan.
Nigel has volunteered to play Dorothy. I will assume the role of Auntie Anne. But leave 5,000 lizards. They will be played by the citizens of Dynatown.
Scared yet? Meet Lucy.
Stupid frog, how could you miss Marcy?
I'm sorry, Lucy. It was that pink girl in shorts. She came out of nowhere.
I hated Marcy's guts. She was the meanest of them all 7 of them. They ganged up on me back at St. Joe's, called me names, said my tail looked like a muffin.
Ooh la la. Now, on what should be the happiest day of their lives, Lucy will finally get her revenge on those stuck-up snobs. They're getting married, all right, to a big, stinky, sex-crazed frog.
Ha! I know why she's upset. All her schoolmates are getting married, and she doesn't even have a boyfriend.
That has nothing to do with it. If I wanted a boyfriend, I could have one. If I wanted one, I could have one. I don't care about that. What I want most is revenge. They called me Little Lucy Muffintail. I'll show them who's head of the class.
All right. We're all among friends here, and we all have tails. And what's more, everyone with a tail gets candy. How about that?
Shut up again.
How about me, Uncle? How much candy do I get?
My gosh, they are evil, aren't they? Well, our next guest is Mr. Bernie Desire, president of the Mountain Bridge, Pennsylvania Dynaman fan club. Mr. Desire is also an expert on the Ho is Dead controversy. Bernie, what is this Ho is Dead thing all about?
Well, in the middle of the second season, this rumor came out that Dr. Ho was dead and had been replaced by an imposter. And everybody started collecting this evidence.
What sort of evidence?
Well, there was the death certificate, of course, and the autopsy results, I guess.
Sounds pretty convincing.
Yeah, but it came out that he was just really, really tired.
But that was just the first time.
Right, because later all this other evidence began to come out.
Such as?
Well, can we look at that clip?
Sure.
But, you see, if you play it backwards...
I buried Ho.
You see? It says, I buried Ho.
Bernie, I'm not really sure you can be absolutely positive about that. I mean, that could say,
no.
I carried Ho, or I carried Ho,
No,
I married Ho,
said,
I'm very bored, Fry
buried
dough,
Ho. I buried
drive
Ho.
Sherry home, my stereo,
Shut up!
my mink stole, why
I'm
carry
going
on?
home.
I'm going home.
Listen, it came out in the end that he was dead.
They used a dead actor all that time.
That's right. That's right, and it's a pretty incredible performance for a dead guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
See, that's why he never shows up at the end of the episode. They couldn't keep him out of the fridge too long.
Well, thank you so much for
Listen,
taking your
before
valuable
I go,
time.
I'd like to plug the Dynaman fan club. We put out this newsletter, and this month we have an interview with Dr. Ho's son, Yo. We have Mutant Update, of course, and we have tips on how to make your own papier-mâché Dyna helmet. Plus, of course, we have coupons, discounts on Dynaman condoms, which are guaranteed, of course, and discounts on conventions like this one and all kinds of things. So, join your local fan club.
Well, thank you once again, and we will be coming back live with more action from the 5th annual Dynaman convention.
Okay, cut the sweet talk, Mel. If I don't see some lizard action soon, I'll send you to Hollywood. If you think I'm ruthless, wait till you see those guys. Who do you think stuck this chair leg through my head? Ouch!